Sector B. We are moving Snowball 1. Roger, bring it in. We'll see you at the command center. Keep it in tight, Marines.
Hey everybody, I'm here to talk about Warwind 2. I got through it, and that is the correct phrase. Did I beat it? Well, no. I got through it. So I had a lot of high expectations for Warwind 2, and it is a better game, but it's not significantly better. So the deal with Warwind 2, I didn't read the manuals, I don't know the fucking story, but at some point humans ended up being in Yarven or whatever, the city, and then like a lot of time seemed to have gone by. Like, not 100 years, but like decades. Okay. And then at some point, the humans were trying to get back home, and they created like a teleportation, and it just brought a bunch of Marines in, and the Marines are kind of assholes. They're the Tharun to like the Shamali, that is the Descendants, is what they call themselves. Now, so you're like, oh god, that's crazy. So now we have like 6 different races? Oh, no. There's still 4 races. So the Tharun and the Avenex are one race. And then the Shamali and the Iagra are now called the Sun. And then there's the Descendants, who are like humans who are more nerdy and technologically oriented. And then there's the Marines, who are dumb Marines, but also have a lot of technology. And then everyone kind of has technology. And the game, it's like more interesting, and there's like more stuff going on, but it still like has like the fatal flaws of Warwind. I guess let's start with the pros. So the graphics are not much better. The interesting thing is you're going to see like video of this game, these games that I played, and the recording of the video, like the recording is so much better looking than the actual, like when I was playing the game, which is like, I don't understand what's going on with that. But like, it was like, what you're seeing is crisper than like what I was playing. So I don't know what kind of magic OVA or whatever it's called was like pulling on this, but it like drastically improved the graphics. So there's 4 campaigns. They're completely unrelated, just like in Morrowind. So that's a thumbs down. The controls are slightly better. Like when you highlight a bunch of characters, you can see their life on the side, which is nice. You still have to, like, if you want to use a power, you have to click on one individually, and then instead of right-clicking on them, you now left-click, which is almost worse, because you left-click on, like, everything. So, like, the point of right-clicking is now 100% to, like, cancel things, and right-click is to, like, continue onward. So there's still a bunch of different classes. They're more varied this time around, which is nice, but it almost makes it worse, because there's not, like, a tutorial, per se. Like, I'm playing Command and Conquer, or I'm playing Warcraft, or Starcraft, or fucking every other strategy like every other real-time strategy game, and like This game actually has a tutorial, unlike Warwind 1, which was nice, but it's only for the Marines, and it's like almost like a full campaign. So I played through all that, and I was like, okay, I get how the Marine Corps works. And I did all their little like easy missions for the tutorial, and then it's like, all right, well, I'm going to do what I did last time. I'm just going to start on the top left, because you have the menu, and then it's like top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right, or all the different classes or different species. And so the Tharun are the top left, and the Obanox, and I click on it, and the game's like, all right, go. And I got like curb stomped immediately, and I was like, okay, well, I have no fucking clue what's going on with these guys and what anything does. And it's not like you get like, okay, build a base, and then build these units, and then you can kind of go kill some stuff and see what happens, right? It's just like, here's some guys, go fucking do this thing we told you to do, and then you do it. And the game still has the thing where you like carry units over to the next mission, which is good and bad. I like the concept of it, but it's like a necessity. So if you kind of fuck yourself over by losing some of your like key units, you get to a point where it's like, this level has become drastically more difficult, because it still has the same bullshit where there's plenty of levels, not as many as in Warwind 1, where you get ambushed like immediately. So if you're not like prepped and ready to go, you get fucked. And then also this game has a lot of like splitting of units, and that gets confusing as shit. And that's one of my biggest complaints as well, is that now you have these vehicles, and the vehicles can get around, and you still have to build bridges or build ships. But like for example, the Descendants, they can build like a car with a machine gun on it, right? And that's cool. It can fit 3 people to transport around, which is nice, because you can slap them all in there. You can go, if the car gets destroyed, these guys now pop out, and it's like a little bit extra firepower and protection. But then their boats only carry 2 people, and the boats have to have somebody in them to drive them. So when I'm trying to transport people across the river, it is like, what the fuck? Why? Like, I get you don't want to have like unlimited, but why is it's like, this is just annoying. Like, there was one level, like the Descendants campaign I thought was actually the easiest, and I was actually I played through like 3-4 levels without cheating even. Besides like maybe like, I'm just tired of waiting, so I'm going to speed this up. And then I got to a level where it's like, all right, you have guys split on 2 sides of like this river, and then you have some ships. But I started like moving people across, and then I found out I moved them to the wrong island, like the wrong side, and I was like, fuck this. like, fuck this game, I'm done. Like, that was like the straw that broke the camel's back, like, no lie. Because I was like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck? Because it can only hold 2 people, and one of them has to drive. So you're essentially ferrying 1 person at a time. And it's like, well, you have 4 ships. Right. You know how hard it is to fucking control anything? And again, I can't pick up multiple people. I have to like unclick this, unclick that, unclick this, now click this one, now unclick, now multi-click, now press the button, then go over there, now I have to unclick, and then click the one boat that didn't fucking figure out how to like trail itself over to that side, and click on that, and then I have to dump everybody out on that side. So then I gotta individually click each one and put them back on a ship so they can go back across the fucking river, so that I can bring 1 more person over per ship. And it was like, oh my god damn, dude. Like, it took me like 7 minutes to just get everybody on the wrong island, and then I had to put them all back and go back. Just fuck you, game. Like, just go fuck yourself. It would have been better just to have like 1 slot and the fucking vehicles move themselves. Like, hands down, that would have been a better system. Anyway, so the stories don't do anything, right? So the Tharun is the same story from Morrowind. They just want to conquer everything. Now the Obanox are like built in. And you can have an Obanox hero, or you can choose heroes, which is nice, and the heroes are different, they have different powers. The humans each human faction gets like 4 hero choices, and then the Sun and the Tharun get like 2 choices. They get 1 for each race, so a little racism there. Human supremacy much. Anyway. Generally the setup is similar. You build like your farms, you build like your central building, and then you can build like your tech building, and then you can build like your war building, and you still have to like now you don't get like an inn where people just show up, which sucks, because now you have to track down individuals that are just like hanging out in the world, and you have to hire them, and then sometimes they're special, and if they're special they can turn into like better units, which is cool. That's not a terrible idea. But then sometimes you go into like a place and you're like, oh good, I need to get like more Tharun, and here's like a Tharun village, and you go in there and then you get attacked by some bullshit critter, and then you're like motherfucking giant like firebat guy doesn't just hit that animal, he hits everybody in there, and then they all attack you, and now you're like, well, now I gotta restart the game because I can't these fucking guys. And so the critters are like actually more annoying. They're worse than they were in Morrowind. Like they're more aggressive, and there's a critter I didn't realize that's like invisible, quote unquote. I mean, you can see it, but who will steal resources from your place, and it just is like doing it while you're doing other stuff. So you gotta like hunt all those motherfuckers down, because they will like come track you down if they're on the map, and they will start stealing resources from you. Do they steal resources from the enemy? No, go fuck yourself. Of course not. Same thing with the other, like I'll have dudes will like wander through the forest, get to me, fight me, and then I'll wander through the same fucking forest, and now the critters are attacking, even if I have do not disturb them. And it's like, fuck you, game. Just don't have that shit. It's so annoying. Like I lost. Like, that was the Scarlet Camelback in the Thaw Rune, because I played through the first 2 or 3 levels of the Thaw Rune, and I was like, this is hard, but it's fine. And then I was doing something, and there's like a giant forest in the middle, and every time I was moving to the forest, I had to like micromanage my way through this forest, or I'd get jumped. And again, the game doesn't have good like auto attack, so if I do like attack, hit A and then move there, they will not stop to attack. They may stop once they get attacked, but they stop like, if one of my guys is getting attacked, they will stop. The rest of them will just keep on their merry way. And these critters are not like, Warcraft 3 critters, where you can just be like, oh, okay, they attacked, I can kill this thing in like 1 or 2 hits. They are like mercenaries in Warcraft, where they just like pop up, and then they beat the shit out of you. And one-on-one, these critters, half the time, will defeat you. Or they'll at least drop you down to like half life. And it's like, fuck you, game. And that's the moral of the story, the fuck you game. So how's the story? The story is still told mostly in a lot of text, and then you get these like slight little like cutscenes in between levels, and sometimes you just get a picture. And at first I was like, oh, the video froze, but it kept happening and then not happening, like sporadically. And I was like, I don't think the picture's freezing, the video's freezing. I just don't think there's a video on half of these. So that's my conclusion with that. But going back, so the Thaw Rune is pretty much the same. You like conquer everybody, destroy everybody, put everyone in their place, and enslave everybody. Congratulations. The addition to the campaigns is that there's points in the campaigns, once or twice at least, where you can, well, once at least, and a couple of them at 2 different times, you could like make divergences in your choices. It didn't seem to matter that much, to be completely honest. Like maybe change one map if you chose one thing, which is something that like I think Warcraft did, or Command & Conquer did. One of these other games did something similar. Anyway, so where was I? Oh yeah, okay. So, but then at the same time, you're like I chose one path with like the Descendants, and I did a couple levels, and then it's like, oh, that path you chose, that's some bullshit. You're going back to the other path, like literally. Like it was like, oh, we want to find a way back to Earth. And then it was like, oh, that Atlantis gate you were going to get back to Earth with doesn't actually exist. It's the rumor was false. So now you're just going to do the thing you were going to do the other choice. And I was like, thank you. I don't know if that just like added levels or changed levels or like what the fuck that was all about, but whatever. Same thing with and a lot of it is like, hey, you want to join with these guys? You want to join with those guys? I'm assuming it changes the ending cinematic depending on who you do. For example, the Sun, like the Shamali and the Agra, you can side with like a divergent faction of the Thaw Rune to have like your unified thing, kind of like the ending of Morrowind 1, or you can go help the humans out and help them get home. So, and once you make that choice, there's like 1 or 2 levels, and then the game's over. So I'm assuming that's just like cool. That's what we did. So with the Thaw Rune, I chose dominance over everybody, so I did that. With the Marines, I chose there's a level where it's just like we want to steal a nuke, and you steal a nuke and use it, and then the game's over. And I was like, that's not really much of an ending. And then the Descendants, I got them home. It seemed they opened up a portal home. And then with the Sun, we unified the races. It didn't summon like the super god or anything like that, but they like all got together and decided we're going to work together. Well, not the humans, by the way. Fuck them. So I'm going to say like the canon endings is the humans go off on their own and they all teleport back to Earth, and then the Yarvan races all combine and are happy, and then the Thaw Rune is just not a canon, and neither is the Marine Corps ending. Because it kind of ended kind of like... So that's it? Interesting. Alright, so yeah, that's Morrowind 2. It's just more Morrowind 1 with like very, very slight improvements. I don't recommend either of these games. Like, again, it's like when the game is not being an asshole, it was enjoyable. It wasn't super enjoyable. I wasn't like, oh, I could play more of this. But I was like, oh, you know what? I'm having a good time. Particularly a couple of Descendant missions. And then you know, when it wasn't being a complete asshole. It's like the tutorial was fine. Like I was like, oh, I'm enjoying this. It's like I'm putting together this little squad of dudes and I'm going to do this thing. But then it just got tedious, and then it got like more tedious, and then it's like the tediousness is really what killed it for me. It's just like this is not enjoyable. Like I'm bored waiting, and then I like do this thing, and I like chose the wrong path, and I got to do it again, and I'm like, fuck this game. I'm not doing it again. And if there was a way to like cheat and just make myself more powerful or immortal, I would have played through the levels actually more. Or if I could like say this, and the game had the same issue as Warren 1, is like on Windows 11, this fucking thing does not work. So I had to keep like restarting. And like not restarting like, oh, I gotta restart the level. Like I had to like switch out, I had to like log out of the account on Windows, log back fucking in, sometimes restart OBS, and it just like dropped all the recording that I did, which is whatever. I'm not using that much recording for this anyway. But it's the principle of the matter. And then like shut down everything. Sometimes I had to change the resolution back to like a normal size because it would shrink it for this game. And then it was just so much bullshit, y'all. It's just, and then it would not work. And then I had to do it all again just to get like the save file to load. And so at some point I'm like, I'm just gonna fucking finish this game and kind of read through it just so I can like talk about it and be like, yeah, I got through it. I did not beat it. I am terrible at this game. It is a hassle, and I did not really enjoy it, but I got through it. I saw like the gist of what this game has to offer, and it is fine. It's like, I'd almost say like I'd be interested in playing this with like an extreme remake. Like bring the stories together, like make the game actually playable. Like if you just made this in like the StarCraft 2 engine on fucking StarCraft Mapmaker, Arcade, whatever they fucking do, or you know Warcraft 3 even, like 1,000 times better, and more enjoyable. And just like there's the story is sort of interesting, but it's like each one is so divergent, and like there's just not a lot going on there. But like I'm thinking, because I play so many of these games and I play so much StarCraft and that's what this is most closely related to, because it's like a science fiction game with like weird alien races. It's like there's like so much potential for this like concept to be good if someone put like a lot of like rebuild these games from scratch essentially and just took like the core components. Like the races are interesting. The differences in Warwind 2, where the races are actually different and have different stuff going on, is much more interesting. And then you could like auto magic like in Warcraft 3 or StarCraft 2. See, it's like now you're playing like a game that's like this is worth playing, and more interesting, and like an interesting story and interesting world and stuff. But that's not what happened. So no, I'm not gonna do it. Anyway, that's Warwind 2. That kind of sucks. Cool. Well, I will catch you all later. Adios.
Diplomats from the 4 races come together. At last, we have brought about peace on Yavon.